I mean, your emails are so exciting that we get lost in the sauce sometimes. So if you can share your screen and just just walk them back through the steps that they need to get in the email, that would be awesome.
Absolutely, Principal Jackson. That's good. Okay, sports fans, hold on. Yeah, give it to you. I want to show you the letter that I sent.
There we go. Now you guys can look up here and follow along, but I don't know if I just got this covered.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's probably because of that bent
thing.
Yeah.
Can we look at the Zoom and our email at the same time?
Well,
if you can look up here.
Is that what we're supposed to be doing though? Looking at our own email?
Yeah, he's showing you how to get to that.
Because you need to. So
you can look up here and go into your email so you can get an example of how to get in.
Get on that.
So the email.
Yeah, so remember I knew it was in the email because that's how I sent it before. The link right here.
Yeah.
So let me walk around. I'll come around and help. Is anybody ready to that? Okay, you this is his email, not mine. Oh, that's not yours? Okay. Well, this is his screen. I can't.
Leah, I'm going to make you co-host just in case.
Okay.
So you probably have some new, you probably see people logging in perhaps, or it's just better because I might miss something.
I'm not seeing anybody new logging in at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
but this is the email that I sent. And the title is Welcome Email to RJBA Educators. Update, final.
Okay, anybody else need help?
Whoever has their audio on, can you just turn it up?
Is that your screen?
Just say right here, right?
That wasn't it.
Click in the color.
Okay. No. Are you ready to get that exit full screen? And then get to your email. View options. So yeah. Exit full screen. This is the email. Yeah. Okay. Go get back to right here. Yes. Now go down. Okay. Yeah. I was able to get my welcome. Go back down. Go back down. Go back down. Okay. When you get to your welcome, because the link is actually in the letter. His name is S-O, right? I'm S-O-L-O. It's almost like you got to get back to right here. Right there. Click here. Yeah. And just click it. And then the link is in there. Click that link. Okay, get back to your welcome letter. There you go. Go to Soloway. Soloway, type Soloway. S-O-L-O-W-A-Y. 1-1-L. Yeah. Oh, here's the link. That's gonna take you, bro. Yeah. Now you know how to get there? Go down the left. Are you there? No, that's his. Where's yours at? Oh, mine. So you gotta get back to your email. Yes, ma'am. Okay, go down. I always say down.
I know. I do it to myself.
Okay, put it there. This one here. This should get attached.
Oh, there we go.
Might take a while to run like yours did. And that's gonna take you too long. Okay, you ready?
I'll catch up. I'm having them reset my password. Because for some reason I can't get in here.
Can you get into your email?
No, I can't. That's what I'm trying to get into. That's why I'm asking to reset it for me. But I can keep up. I mean, I kind of know enough, so I just can't jump in.
All right. So are we ready?
Yes.
So Dr. Salloway, thumbs up.
Okay, so everybody has clicked on this very long
Well, Miss Jackson, mine.
URL.
I got an idea. I'm about to go get a speaker.
Everyone do it. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I know.
I can only get through from my phone right now, not through the.
You probably don't want to do this on your phone because it's going to be big, and the screen. You're going to need a magnifying glass. So that's not it. That won't work. If you could use your computer. So everybody sees this email. And here are some instructions. I think folks haven't gone through it, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna, if I can share my screen very, very quickly.
Okay, we're going to begin, but before that, everybody understands that what you got to do is go to this URL, this email, click on this URL, and read the rest of the email, the letter, because you don't want to go the virtual link, you want to go the independent link. And it says that here, but I just want to focus your attention. Don't go the virtual link, take the independent link, okay? And I'll stop sharing because then Liat can start sharing.
And I can show you what we mean on a larger screen, because when you're going to click on that URL on the email, you're going to get to our professional development series maps, right? You're going to click on the first map. A tab would open on the left. You would click launch. And then on a new tab, you will get to our very first professional development map and start going through the activities. You click on one, again, a bar opens on the left, you click launch and you do the activity. And you're gonna take the independent route, which is the one furthest to the right. It's basically a recording of the webinar explaining what roadmaps are and how to use them. As you can see, a roadmap is basically, like it sounds, a roadmap, a pathway of learning, and that's a platform that you're going to be using. So you can go through the video, watching us explaining how to use it, and there are so many different ways that you can use roadmaps for curriculums and for lessons, and it's all explained here. If you're feeling adventurous, you might want to also do the interactive, which is the same. It's the same video, but you're also going to be asked questions. So, but go for the independent route, watch the video, and see how what our amazing educators have to say and how they're using roadmaps. So today, because we don't have a lot of time left, I'm not going to go through the professional development map 1. I am going to show you a couple of things that you can do with roadmaps. I'm going to show you sorry? You can always type questions on the chat. We're monitoring it, or just stop me if you have any questions. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to use maps, a few of our awesome features, and then some resources that we have for you as you're getting started using roadmaps and you're starting using them with your students. They can really support you, your students, and your parents.
Can I interrupt Liat for just a second? Let me ask, Principal Jackson sent me an email and she indicated that your folks there are support, you aren't classroom teachers, or did I get it wrong?
Correct.
They're support.
Yes.
Okay, and and Principal Jackson, are the teachers like Sandy and Dina, are they using the roadmap curricula, or I know Mr. Pitikoff purchased some other curricula, like for social.
They are using the roadmaps to build. They're building the roadmaps into the curriculum. So we have Eureka Math for our math curriculum, and we have Houghton and Mifflin for the language arts. So they're building it into roadmaps.
So the Engage New York, we have roadmap curricula. So they're using that.
And yes, they are.
Good. And social studies you haven't got to yet, right?
Hold on, because I can't hear him. He's asking a question. I think you're asking one at the same time.
Sorry.
So hold on, Dr. Salloway, can you finish your question, and then Ms.
Sure.
Hensley, I'll pick up on yours.
Sure. You folks haven't got to social studies quite yet, right?
No, social studies, we're still building that. We're using the MP3 from the state that's already built through Atlas Rubicon. So that's our social studies curriculum. We just have not put it in roadmaps yet.
Now, I will remind you, we have the MC3 Mesa in roadmaps already.
So that's what we're using.
Oh, okay.
It's already built in there. That is the curriculum.
Okay. And then the schedules that Liat is about to show you are going to be really important because, folks, because the teachers can create their own schedule or basically modify it and then send out to the kids what they're doing in math and reading and writing, social studies. What percentage of your children are remote?
It's about 50-50, but hold on one second because Ms. Hensley had a question. Ms. Hensley, go ahead with your question.
We don't see the version of roadmap that they're showing us right now. We don't want to support.
Okay. So okay, which is okay because the teachers have to collaborate. So her question was, she was trying to stop you because they're seeing the student side of it and not the teacher side.
Yes, that's okay. That's okay. You will see this teacher side shortly.
I'm gonna
answer your question, Ms. Hensley.
Yes, in roadmap. Yes,
your question was, we don't see the teacher side, we see the student side. He said that's okay. Yes. Well, if you're confused, this is the time we need to stop and clarify. So Ms. Hensley is saying that she's confused. So can we just dissect and get some clarity on what the confusion is?
Sure.
Okay, so
are we as a board just following the teacher's roadmap, or are we building a roadmap with them?
So you'll be following the teacher's roadmap, but it's important for you to understand that you need to be able to do it from the student side, and you need to be able to, the teacher's the only one that's going to build the roadmap. You'll understand how, because what may happen is if you have to go into a teacher's classroom, and let's say you get into a southern position, you have to understand how to build that roadmap. So if you're in a position where you have to sub, you're just going to roll out. Kids already have it there. You're just going to be able to show the kids how to use it, click the assignments, send the assignments, check the assignments. So you need to see it from both perspectives. But the teacher, and then they've invited you to their roadmaps, but the teachers are going to be the ones building the roadmap. Make sense? Are we all clear? Okay.
Yeah, that's really very good, Principal Jackson.
Yeah, we have to stop and ask the question.
Yeah, and that because your folks won't build, you won't be building roadmaps. You'll be using them and explaining how they work. That's very important to understand that distinction. Thank you. Thank you.
So if we look at a roadmap, and it sounds like some of you have already seen them, you're familiar a little bit with them, but it is important that you see what the teachers are seeing and how they're creating them, and then how to use them so you can support your students when they're using them. So this is an example. So roadmaps, for example, can be used for a daily schedule as an aggregator to put all the activities that kids need to do. They can follow everything they need to do for that day. This is a 5th grade schedule, which is why it's so elaborate. And as you can see, teachers put in lessons in there. You have the morning check-in, and then there is a reading lesson and a writing lesson and the Eureka Math lesson. And all of these lessons are provided by us. We've already created road maps of these lessons for you to use. You can change them and modify them, of course, but they're already made for you. So you can provide deeply digital lessons for your kids that are already ready. So so for example, this is a writing lesson, and our reading and writing are based on the MESA units or Lucy Calkins. So it's the workshop format, and the Eureka Math you'll recognize. I opened the little ones just to show you a schedule. So this is a schedule for littler kids, so you can see it's less complicated. It only has 5 activities. Some days they don't even do all of them, they just have a few. And again, each of these bubbles, call them nodes, is a lesson. So they have reading, writing, exploratory, math, and social studies. And here is Eureka Math, and you might recognize it because it has the fluency and the application, the mini lesson, which is the concept development, then the problem set, the exit ticket, and homework if you're using it. And then obviously we incorporated some digital aids to help you. So you have all of these extras, you have the digital manipulatives and other resources that you might need to support your learners. And a good question came up with the student interface versus the teacher interface. So this is a teacher map. You know it's a teacher map because the top banner is blue and you can make changes. Now you yourselves as teachers might not make changes, but it's important to see what you're seeing. So you're gonna see the activities themselves. You can delete them, you can add them, you can hide them by clicking on the Apple node, and then only you as the teacher can see them. And you can type instructions. For example, if you click on a tab, on an activity, and then the tab opens on the left and you can type in instructions. Students, on the other hand, have their interface. The top banner is green. Their name appears on top because it's their personal copy. As you can see, there are a lot of things that were in the teacher interface that are not appearing. They have apples on them. So as a student, I can see them. And then as a student, when I click on an activity, I can actually hear the instructions. So I have that scaffold to help support me if I'm struggling with reading, or if I'm an ELA student, I can click on the speakerphone and listen to the instructions. Students, we're going to click launch. For them, it's going to be the blue rocket ship at the bottom. It's still going to open on a new tab for them. They can interact with the activity and do it, but obviously they can't delete it or change it. And in this case, this is a fluency video where we're going to be playing a game. And when I'm done, I go back to the main map. So you're going to tell your students, go back to the previous tab or to the tab to the left and click complete. And when they do that, I don't know if you've noticed, but the activity closed for me. So they're not going to have a million tabs like I have open. It's closing automatically for me, and it colors it in. So I have a visual pathway telling me what I've done and what I still need to complete. And this is how your students are going to go through the maps. They're going to click on an activity. The bar would open on the left. They're going to click launch. It's going to open on a new tab. They're going to do the activity, come back, complete, and keep going. On these maps, there are several different types of activities that you might find. And I'm going to go over our top 5 just so you know what they look like and support your students when they're using them. So for example, we have web resource that can take your students to any website that you need them to go to. In this case, for example, in our reading maps, we send students to Get Epic for their independent reading time. We have a timer. That's another website that has a timer for them already set for 30 minutes. That's their independent time, reading time in 3rd grade. So, or for example, in your case, if you're using Brain Pop or Mystery Science, whatever it is that you're using, you can put a URL here, and it's very simple. They're just going to click on it and go to the other website. And for you, the teachers, you're just going to click on the word, you're going to click on the tab, click URL, change URL, and put the link to the website that you need them to go to. So another app that we have is Writer. Now, Writer is an amazing app for videos and for text. And I'm going to show you why in just a second. You already got a glimpse of Writer previously. There we go. It's loading. So it's awesome for videos because notice what happens when I'm clicking on the YouTube video.
To be or not to be, that is a question whether to don't learn the mic.
It just starts playing it. It doesn't take the students to YouTube. It doesn't have the commercials or the distractions on the side. It just shows them the video. You can have instructions or prompts here at the top, and every text that you type can be read to your students. Again, they're going to click on the speakerphone and they can listen to it. So again, a great scaffold for your ELA learners.
How fast can you read?
And I stopped it, but obviously it can read the whole thing. You can also have questions, and your kids are going to answer, and they can type in their answers in the purple box. If I click on the plus sign, you can have header, which is a place for you to put instructions, photo or video, again, to put YouTube videos or existing photos or videos that you have on your Drive or on Google, and Q&R for questions. So for example, here, they're going to test themselves and see how many words they can read in 1 minute. And they can type in the number, or they can also record their answers. And that is very powerful. They can click on photo or video, take new photo or video, and record a video of themselves responding. And you as the teacher can also record a response to their answer, for example, as a feedback. And that's a great way to make it more personalized, because a lot of times we're losing that personalization and one-on-one connection with students when we're teaching remotely. So that's a great way for you to leave them a little bit of a feedback, which is more personal in the video, and for them to record answers for you. And we just did some social emotional maps, and we had students that weren't speaking, and they recorded answers saying what's important to them. They love it, and it's super engaging for them. So that's a great tool for your students.
It's really easy. You just click on video and the camera starts, you give it permission, and you're golden.
So again, I'm just showing you very quickly some of the options of different activities that Roadmaps offers that you will come across when you're using our curriculum and our lessons that we've made for you. Another thing that we have is PDF Pal, everybody's favorite. It allows you to put worksheets in or any type of worksheet that you already have for your students. So for example, in the math, if you're using Eureka Math or Engage New York, you're familiar with their problem set worksheets and their exit ticket worksheets. And everything has a worksheet in Engage New York. So again, you just click on it. And this is a very simple, interactive way for them to work digitally with their worksheets. Once it loads, I can show you our tools. There we go. So kids can draw or write using the pencil. I'm looking at the bottom left. I have all the tools that kids can use on PDF Pal. They have a pencil here that they can use. For example, I'm going to write my name or attempt to. I can use the eraser and erase what I did if I'm not happy with my answer. I just clicked on the eraser and clicked on what I wanted to erase. I can type an answer, so I can also, for example, type my name. And again, I can erase using the eraser. And I can highlight, which is great for kids. A lot of times in those maps, especially for the lower L, they need to color, so they can do that using the highlighter. And for ELA, they can notate text, which is amazing. So they can do all of those things, and they can do it all in all of these colors. You can highlight in all of these colors. You can write in all of these colors. You can type in all of these colors. So if you have students working together on a worksheet, they can each have their color, and they can, and you can tell who did what. So this is a very simple but effective way for them to do worksheets online, and everything students are doing here is automatically saved. So it's not going away, and you can go back and monitor and assess their work. The two last apps that I want to show you are a chart that we have, and we're using those for the ELA. For example, for the reading log, it's a chart when they're filling out how many pages they've read, and how long they were reading. So this is a simple chart for them to use. And again, everything that they do is automatically saved. And last but not least, fan favorite, it's the flip book. And it is what it sounds like. It's a flip book. So it's a great animation drawing tool for kids, and it can be used in many, many ways. We're using it as a notebook. In here, in this case, for example, the journal is actually a flip book, and kids can record their thinking throughout the unit. But it can also be used for animations. We have kids in science modeling their understanding. We have kindergartners modeling the predator-prey relationship on Flipbook, and they're kindergartners, and they made animations. We use it for math because it allows them to draw all the different graphs that they might need, or illustrate their thinking. It can be used for social studies. We used it for timelines with the pictures, and the kids were making moving timelines. So it's really versatile, a versatile tool to use. Are there any questions so far?
Slow down a little bit, but this is really the important stuff, folks. And if you have a question, please, you could type it into the chat, or you could interrupt Liat.
Okay, so
this is the heart of it, really, folks.
all of these wonderful apps that I'm mentioning are here. So if you go to the teacher interface, and I've heard that teachers are sharing their maps, their creations, whether it's a lesson or a schedule with you, you are going to be a collaborator teacher. And it's kind of like how you're working together on a shared doc. Everything that if you make changes, everybody's seeing it. You're working together. So be careful if you are shared with someone. Yes, I see a finger.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My question is, because I'm the music teacher, and I thought this was like for, like uploading the lessons and stuff like that. But maybe I'm like a little confused. How exactly are we to upload, like, documents and videos and stuff like that, like everything that we need to? Because it looks like it's just like showing us what the kids need.
Excellent question. It depends on the app. In each app, you're gonna load things differently. Since I don't know if we have time to go through this right now, because again, it's different for every app. For a web resource, for example, you're gonna click on URL and type in, you're gonna click change URL and put in the URL that you want. All of these, but I will show you where to find short how-to videos. They're just 1 minute each, showing you how to add your resources for each of these types of activities. All the activities, when you're in a teacher format, again, so if you're in with the blue tab on top, if you click on the plus sign at the bottom center, these are all the apps that we offer. And you click on one of them to create it. So if you want a web resource, you'll click web resource create, and then you can add your web resource. If you want to add a video, you would probably use Writer. You would click Writer, create, and then I'm gonna direct you to the how-to videos showing you how to add YouTube videos there, or your own videos from your drive. Let's say that you recorded a mini lesson for your students. Again, so Flipbook and all of these, you would just click on them, click create, and you will see it appearing on my map in 4, 3, 2, 1.5. There we go. And it created this activity for me, and now I can input my resources in there.
Okay.
Okay. So again, as a teacher, this is again the teacher interface, and when other teachers share maps with you, or if you're creating maps, everything will be here. You would go to roadmap.center. This is our website. We're gonna leave URLs for you in the chat. So this is roadmap.center. All of your maps are gonna be here on the ranch with modify my roadmaps. That's where you're gonna find all of your maps. The teachers are gonna be sharing with you. So if I'm gonna go there just to show you what mine look like, And you should probably only have the PD, the professional development maps at this point in your personal bank. But I have many, many maps. And there you go. And I can see that Monique Coleman, one of our educators, for example, shared a map with me. And I know that because she's listed as the owner. So I know if it's a map that I created or a map that someone else created. And I can see what it is. And again, as a collaborator, we're working together on the same copy. So any changes that I make to the map are going to appear on Monique's side as well. I can also search for maps by searching the repository if you need to search for a specific lesson. If the teacher tells you, like if you're a sub and you know that the teacher taught lesson number 1.4, and now you need to find 1.5, and now you can search for them in the repository. But I'm sure that in your case, the teachers are probably gonna share with you the lessons that they've already located, and you can search by subject, by grade level, or with words, just type in words. So I'm thinking there are so many more things to share with you. I'm only going to show you how to add a collaborator if you want to work together with another teacher. And I want to note that kids can also work together, and that's an amazing feature that we have in Collaborify Roadmap, is that kids can do some work independently on a map, but they can also work collaboratively in groups or as a class, and again, creating that community sense in a roadmap. And there again, I'm not going to go into that today, but there are videos showing you how to do that and how to send maps collaboratively for the students to work together. It's so powerful. It helps kids become problem solvers and go to each other and really get that sense of community, and that's beautiful. And for you, the teachers, you're not alone. You can work with others. And it's super, super simple. Once you have a map, you click on the 3 dots on the top right corner, choose Add Collaborator, type in the email of the person that you want to add as a collaborator. Professor Soloway, I know you just want an Engage New York Math. That's what's missing in your life. So I put in Professor Soloway's email. I click Add Collaborator, and in 3 to 4 minutes, this map will appear in his personal map bank, and he can join in and we can work together. Again, like a shared document, he can make changes, he can change questions, directions, add things, delete things, and it's gonna be together. But we can also talk together using phone, yeah, I always say that wrong. Remote IP phone, professor help. Voice over IP. The voice over IP. Once we're both on the map, you can see here we have a little eyeball. Right now, I'm the only person here, but if someone else joined, I could see it's gonna have the number 2, and I can see who's on the map. And if we both click on the phone, we can also talk together on the computer as we're working together. And your students will be able to do the same if they're collaborators on a map. So that's a very, very cool feature that we have, and we urge you to, especially as beginners, to try and work together in groups to help each other and support each other as you're using roadmaps. But we're not leaving you hanging. We have a ton of resources to support you as you're starting to use roadmaps. Another website that we have is the Center for Digital Curricula website that we're also going to leave for you in the chat. On this website, you can visit our classrooms and see how teachers have used our curricula. You can go to Need Help and see frequently asked questions, because if you're thinking about these questions, someone else probably thought about it too, and we might have an answer for you. And you have a lot of how-to videos. I'm going to click there to show you. So again, I went to the Need Help tab, how-to videos, and we have tutorials for students that you can share with your students and with parents to help them see how to navigate the maps and how to use the different apps. You can also use those videos to learn how to use them. And we have teachers tutorials if you're interested in creating and modifying maps. Like if you want to create your own schedule or change a Eureka math lesson, you would want to watch the tutorials for teachers. And just to show you what it looks like, you have each of these lines is a video. It's a how-to video that's about 1 minute. And it shows you how to do something. For example, how to go to our website, how to share a roadmap, how to add a collaborator. And here we have questions based on app. For example, for PDF, how to add, how to change a PDF. And there you have it. This is a video, a 1 minute video showing you how to add your own worksheets if you want to. So all of these are available for you. You can also always email us. We have the Digital Curricula Center email, and you can always email us questions there, and we'll be happy to help. We also have, if you go to the Curricula tab, we have the Getting Started page with step-by-step instructions on how to get started. You can see samples of our curricula that we offer by grade level. So for example, if I'm a 3rd grade teacher, I'm going to click on 3rd grade, and I can see examples of social studies maps. I can see examples of ELA maps, science maps, reading and writing, the Eureka Math maps, and I can see them as a teacher or as a student. I can have the 2 interfaces, the 2 versions for me to see. So I can see what my students are going to be seeing and what I'm seeing. And finally, we have, and that can be very helpful for you. We have the schedules, but we also, so we have learning schedules ready to go, but we also have first week resources. Now I know it says first week, but it's basically beginner, or as you're just getting started to using them resources. We have my first roadmap, which is a fun little scavenger hunt type of map. Because the first time that you use a roadmap, you need to give Google permissions for each of these apps. It's not up to us, it's Google. So to do that in a fun and engaging way and not as you're teaching, you can just do this quick map. It's about 15 minutes. The purpose of this map is just to get it over with, kind of like a Band-Aid to take it off. And kids open each type of activity, give Google permissions, and collect clues, and hopefully they can guess at the end what was the mystery object. We have the Disney maps, which are great maps for kids to practice using the different apps. So they can practice using Collaborify Writer. Again, this was the app with the videos. They can use the chart. Again, the reading log was a chart, and they do that as they visit the different kingdoms in Disneyland. In Disney World. So for example, if they go, sorry? Okay. So for example, if they go to, let's say if they go to Epcot, they can practice a different app that we didn't show you so far. It's called Map. It's a very cute app that we have for sorting and ordering pictures. We use it a lot for vocabulary, and we use it also for driving question boards and in different activities. It's basically, and here kids are going to practice moving the bubbles around and putting them in the right order, and then linking them together to create a path between the different attractions that Epcot offers. So again, a great opportunity for you and for them to practice using the different apps that we offer in a fun and engaging way. We also have a map for parents that you can also use. It's very similar to the Disney map in the sense that you're practicing how to use the different apps on Roadmap. But you're going to do it not in Disneyland, but with Mr. Bean and Ace Ventura. It's a very fun map, and I highly recommend it. And it goes with this video that you can share with your parents, showing them how to click an app, click launch, open it, and then they can practice using the different apps. And finally, we have this app, my first week of school app, that allows, now the idea of this map is that you would send it to the whole class together, And we have a how-to video showing you how to do that. And then the kids can practice working collaboratively together on roadmaps and get to know each other as they practice using the different apps. So for example, with the writer, they can record their own videos. They will record videos maybe introducing themselves or two truths and a lie and play together as a class, because again, they're all working on the same worksheet or on the same writer in this case. So these are some of the resources that we have for you. Again, we have how-to videos, we have frequently asked questions. You can always email us, and then we have the curricula tab with lessons and with these first week resources for you. Professor, should I show how to send a map?
No, let's stop for a second and let's take the temperature, because we only got about 10 or 15 minutes left. Do you have questions, folks? Oops. I mean, things came fast and furious, and it's to say the least, right? A lot of resources, but I think the key is going to be the schedule. Why don't you go back to that, Liat? Because that's what your teachers, who you're going to sort of take over from, are going to probably have a schedule. And these are different schedules. This is Tuesday, and you're going to have a reading, and these are going to get sent to the student. And then for example, then the student is going to do the work that's in each of those little bubbles. So maybe show Monique's 5th grade one with the times.
Sure.
So here is sort of your, in some sense, the classic, the classic schedule, where the teacher has laid out all the activities, whether the kids are in the classroom or they're at home at the kitchen table. They're going to need a schedule. And she's probably got a lot of tabs open. That's the problem. Probably just, yeah, look in your modify my roadmaps for the schedule. So we will be able to.
There we go.
Yes, you will be able to edit it. Oh, I see, because then you go, with your virtual kids, you go to a breakout room.
You could go to a breakout room. Again, see how here as a class meeting, we have a web resource that can be the link to your Zoom. So the point is that you're only sending your kids to one place and everything they need is here. And they can have the Zoom link here, and from the Zoom, you can split them into rooms. We can also have different Zoom links if you want for each group. In this case, for example, with the win time, we have, you'll notice if I click on it, and I won't because.
No, wait a minute. Let's answer the question. There's a real question in, and this is an important one, in the chat. The teacher is going to do virtual, the kids are going to have to go to a room,
Okay.
a breakout room, and the teacher is going to have to, the substitute's going to have to put a link to that room. In other words, change this schedule. So they'll have to be able to add a node here with the link. Is that what's being asked, Stacy?
No, I asked a question. So we are supposed to do these like breakout rooms with certain groups of kids. So what they want to be able, us to be able to do is have the kids click on, you know, one of these nodes at the time, you know, that they're supposed to meet with us in these breakout rooms. But will we be able to add our own links onto their nodes? I guess is the question. Does that make sense?
Yes, if they
Okay.
make you a collaborator, like Liat showed, and
Right.
then you can then edit it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh yeah, that was very cool. Like
Okay.
I was hoping that I could, yes. So they would go to a breakout room. They would go to a breakout room, and you could add that URL.
Okay,
They make you a collaborator.
okay,
You can put your own Zoom link, and this is a good example because I thought I heard about rooms and different links. See here, they're just different. This case, it's different teachers, but in your case, it can be different times or different URLs for each room on the Zoom, whatever works for you. So you can definitely put your own Zoom link if you're a collaborator on the map.
okay.
That's the key, making you a collaborator on the map, and then you would add a Zoom link. How would you add that, Leah? What node would you use?
So we're using a web resource. That's what we were using. And you put a URL for your Zoom.
And how did you get that web resource link? You clicked on the plus?
So again, you would click on the plus sign. It should be in the schedule that you're receiving, but if it's not, click on the plus sign at the bottom center, click web resource, create, and I'm gonna name it Miss Couples Zoom, so they know that it's mine. And I'm gonna click URL and change URL, and then I'm gonna paste the URL that Zoom spits on you. And once you generate a meeting, I'm gonna paste that here, click save, and then it's a link.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. Huh? So we have to do that for our meetings and with the virtual teachers that we're teaching. That's huh? Yeah. She kind of all that. We will walk through how to do it.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Leah. That was very helpful. And it hasn't come through to be a collaborator with you on that roadmap. Or I'm surprised.
Did you click embedded roadmaps?
Oh,
So this is a it's more advanced, but it's a very important tip for all of you. When you go to modify my roadmaps, if you want to see all the maps that were shared with you, make sure that you click the show nested roadmaps. The idea is that roadmaps is like a folder. You can put maps inside maps. You can have a weekly schedule, and within it, you'll have the map for Monday. And within the map of Monday, you can have math, science, social studies, and those are maps inside maps. So make sure that you click show nested roadmaps to see all of those maps. Otherwise, you'll just see the week schedule and you won't see Monday and you won't see the social studies.
and I'm now a collaborator if Leah goes back to her math roadmap, the title called math.
There we go.
There you go. You see, 2 people, I'm there. And
you can see my marker is over here.
I'm trying to move something. There you go.
You're playing with the manipulatives.
Yep.
And again, we can click on the phone and talk. We won't do it because with the Zoom, it will have a weird echo, but it's a wonderful way to work as our educators create those lessons for you. We often use the phone feature to talk to each other.
That's going to be really powerful. You're at home, you're talking, you can talk. That is the right way to do it. Now, it did come fast and furious. What we suggest is go through those roadmaps, the professional development roadmaps. It'll take 3 or 4 hours to go through all of them, right? But take your time, go through it, and then we can do this again. And we'll show it again, and we'll talk again. That's the way you learn. You hear about it, you do it, you talk about it, you do it again. You cycle. So that's what you're gonna do. Oh, sorry, Leah.
Sure. And again, remember, we offer you a lot of these maps already ready to go. So if you're just starting, and it can be very overwhelming, we suggest you can just use what we have and then slowly start changing and modifying things, which I'm sure you want to do. But as you get started, you can just start with that, see how you use the app, see how the kids use the apps, and then start playing around with the maps and putting your your personal touch into them.
Questions?
I do recommend them, you watch the video that we have on how to distribute maps, because once you found all these maps, teachers shared these with you. You have math, you have science, you have ELA, great. Watch the video to learn how to send them to your kids. I vaguely remember you're a Google school, so we do have a video on how to distribute to Google Classroom. And it's basically, a roadmap is basically a URL, it's a link. So you can just put in a link anywhere that you need to and send it that way. Most of you already have your classrooms, if you're subbing, most of the teachers already set up classes in roadmaps. So it's just 2 clicks for you because you already have all the students in roadmap.center, and you just choose the map and choose the class, and it sends it automatically to that Google class. So watch that video to see how to send these maps to your students. Right, Professor?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm going to make this Liat's explanation. This video that we've been doing, I will make that available and send you the URL so that you could watch this again and hear Liat's comments again. You know, just let it percolate there, marinate up there. So it'll probably take 24 hours by the time it gets fixed up and moved to YouTube, but certainly by tomorrow I will send out the URL for this particular presentation, and then you can go through it. Questions? Remember to breathe. It's very important. Breathe. You'll get this. You'll get this. It's a lot of stuff coming at you. But when you break it down step by step, that's when it'll make more sense. But patience, patience, patience with yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day. The roadmaps weren't built in a day. Any other questions? Principal Jackson, should we sign off? And I'll send out the video as soon as I get it ready.
Okay, she stepped out.
Oh, well, any questions, folks? Probably you're feeling overwhelmed.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I mean, it's fair. It's absolutely fair. It's fair. I think what you got was the whole overview, and the key is going to be the schedule. That's going to be the key. Though look at this is a particular lesson in the math. Can I classify 3 items, 3 categories, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is a math lesson in Eureka Math, Engaged New York Math. And over here to the right, you could see review, practice, games. These are things that we've added to make it more fun, but we've obeyed exactly the Engaged New York. This is exactly what Engaged New York says.
Mm-hmm. You have the lesson plan and all the other resources that Engage New York offers. So again, it's meant to make your life easier. You have the lesson ready. You have all the teacher resources that you need for this lesson. You have a video about this lesson from the Eureka Math site. You have the teacher lesson plan, the answer keys, other resources that you might need. And then for the kids, you have all the steps of the lesson all laid out for you with icons. They just go through them. And then the extras, like Professor Soloway mentioned, are there to make it more digital and more fun, like the digital manipulatives. Your students might need them for the problem set. They can use everything around them, but if they're doing it virtually, you have digital manipulatives ready to go. If your students, if some of them need a review, you have a review. If some of them are done, you know how you always have those 10% that are just quick and done. They can play a game. They can do an extra practice. So you have everything ready for you. This is a lesson you can send as is to your students, and they can learn this lesson. And this is from, let's see if I, off the top of my head, It looks like first grade or kindergarten from module 1.
Yeah, the name of this one will be longer. I mean, this is just a shortened name.
The kindergarten's lesson have very long names, but we kept them to stay true to the Eureka Math curriculum.
Okay, I think you've had enough. I think go back to the invite letter and go step by step by step. And it'll start to become clearer. Now you've got an overview. Now you got to go piece by piece by piece. Okay? Trust us. We've done this with hundreds of teachers. So we've seen this process before. Truly, truly, we mean that. We've seen this before. You're going to be a little overwhelmed. It was a fire hose, but go step by step by step, and you're going to get it. Promise, promise. Okay? Okay, take the time now to start going through roadmap 1. Take the time that, thank you. So you'll click on the first one and you'll go through, launch, click launch, and you'll start where it says start here. Start there, and then click 1, 2, 3, and then go down the independent branch on the right. Okay? Take the time to do that now. And Liat, I'll stick around for a little while. It's okay, for about 10 minutes. Well, 9 minutes. But everybody do this. Let's everybody do this. Oh, you use Google Meets? Okay, that's good.
You again, in the same way, you'll just put the URL, the link to your Google Meet. It's a web resource can be any web resource. It can be a Zoom. It can also be a Google Meet. Copy and paste the URL, and your students will go there.
Web resource is very handy. Any URL, plop it in there. Games, simulations. Just start with number 1 and just click on it, click launch, come back, click 2, click launch, come back, etc., etc. You got this, just like it says at the bottom. Questions, folks?
No, we're good.
We're good. Okay, then we will see you again. Thank you, folks. Thank you, Liat. And I'll get this video going. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Remember to breathe. 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 Thank you, everybody. Bye, David. Bye.